Hello and welcome to 365 Days Towards Racial Change. My name is Thomas Nyback, and we're here talking about Black issues here in America. Two thoughts come to mind as we continue with one another in this year-long project. One is the Black thought, the mind of slavery in Black people still prevailing within that Black community in America, and the other side of the same first thought is, does the white mind of entitlement, of privilege, expectation of power, and all this stuff prevail in the consciousness of white America and all races and creeds in between? And my second thought is for financial literacy for Black folks, understanding simple things, balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. That's not rocket science. It's all very simple little things. We understand by paying rent, we're actually paying someone's mortgage. We understand how usurious the financial system in America is, and it keeps people locked in a space where they are serving someone else or some other group or organization, or hard sweat, or expendable dollars, disposable dollars, income being spent with nations that are antagonistic, especially the Black folks. Speaking of Asian nations specifically. I just saw a piece there on CNN where China, I forget which Black country they are investing in. They're giving this country huge loans, and that's a problem down the road if they can't pay their loans or they can't keep up. If the Black country can't keep up their side of the bargain, the whole thing is exacerbated by the presence of the China military base within minutes of an American military base. That can get ugly real quick. So financial literacy, that's a big part of it. I'm sorry I'm breezing through. We got a huge two-parter going on, and there's a lot of concepts I want to kind of get some foundation in part one today. I'm inspired by a man named Dr. Claude Anderson. We are referencing his works today specifically, and get these books, please. A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask. We are dissecting question 100 today. We'll get to that in just a moment. Also, some other works I read was Black History, White Wealth, Search for Power and Economic Justice, and Dr. Anderson's National Plan to Empower Black America, Powernomics. You can find Dr. Anderson at powernomics.com, and the Heritage Institute in Washington, D.C. You see behind me the hashtag #US2 symbol. Black women supporting one another, discoursing with one another, conversing, giving support. You can go to Black Enough, BLAGGENUF, kind of a Black Facebook. If you found me here on the World Wide Web through YouTube, you're already technologically literate, so you can find your community. It is out there. And occasionally, like yesterday, and we're going to start moving more through this as well. For a couple reasons, I won't go into them today, but Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe's phenomenal work. I just finished that, or I'm just finishing kind of her summary conclusion, and I encourage you, get the book, read it all the way to the end, please. It's a rich text, very informative, and all that. So every once in a while we do go through a chapter, look at some ideas of Black life in America. All right, today we're part one of two-part series on the Black Civil Rights Movement. I was just confronted. I got a good friend, he actually follows this, from the LGBT community, white man, good friend of mine. I love him dearly. He follows along, and he was disturbed about my emphasis on being exclusive about black folks. Getting access to wealth and resources, being recognized as a community, configuring American life more in favor of black folks, and he didn't like how I was being exclusive, and I had already read Dr. Anderson's work, so I knew the answers were there, but I didn't articulate it well. I'm probably not going to articulate it well today. We're going to just breeze through. But I want to tell you a story first in relation to being exclusive. I grew up in a two-income home. Both parents worked feverishly. 3 kids in the home with all our issues and all that going on. But the water heater broke in our home, and so we resorted to heating our water on the stove. And so it's not uncommon. This is how America developed. The people used to heat their bath water on stoves all the time. So wasn't a big jump. Um, so anyway, we're getting ready for church one day, and I was a very young boy, and I was pulling the kettle up to the sink. It was piping hot, steam coming out everywhere, and it had one of those swivel handles on it, and the curved, spout, old-fashioned little kettle thing. And I'm going along, and I'm have it up. I'm about to pour it into the sink to get my bath water ready for church, and I get scalded, third-degree burn on my side. It left a pink patch about the size of a softball, shriveled, the black skin over that. You know, we take off our skin where everybody's pink underneath, and I saw that. It's a very bad burn, and I'm going to come back later. I want you to remember that illustration as we go through today's post. The question 100 out of a Black History Reader is, what was the scenario that led to the death of the civil rights movement? Now, that's if you believe the civil rights, of course, had a death. We're just going to suppose a lot of this stuff because we're going to cram a lot of this stuff into these very few slim minutes in part one. It goes to answering the question of exclusivity. Why would blacks not want to partner with LGBTQ, Hispanics, Asians, handicaps? Why not all of us be in one big family? And a lot of that argument, the roots of that argument are going to come right out of Dr. Anderson's text and commentary today. And it's an important question too, because on the surface it seems if you are aggrieved in America, then you are part of the aggrieved group. You are, but I don't have trouble traversing stairs. I'm not gay. I don't. I agree that groups are aggrieved. Hispanics. You've heard me talk both sides of a lot of issues. I'm not a female, all right. But so on the surface, it looks like if we are being discriminated against, marginalized, then we're part of the discriminated, marginalized family, and we need to unite and be be a part of that. Um, not so fast, okay, folks. Um, Blacks historically, black-skinned people are overwhelmingly, exclusively separated out from society, and that's black LGBTQ, uh, black handicaps, black women, black Hispanics, you know, black skin carries negative weight in America's landscape. Now, you're going to see, we can look at history and we can look at many times blacks have been emancipated and that's fell through. We can look at how blacks were promised to be, uh, involved in America's financial wealth landscape. That was a lie and quickly put aside. And when we talk about the Freedmen's Bank, if you can find that here in a very early post, where a lot of black folks thought they were investing and the white structure robbed those funds and never repaid. You could talk about blacks having their own communities, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood down there in Florida, sacked, demolished, murders, and we get lynchings, Jim Crows, and all of that. The black experience, because the skin color is so apparent and on the surface easily recognizable, it's just constantly targeted for abuse, especially from white power. Okay, where blacks have always been an unacceptable group. Now, here's what happened. Here's Dr. Anderson's argument. Some of it, he goes back to 1954, Brown v. Board of Education, about the desegregation of schools. And here is a portion of one of the big problems. Now, this is going to be a little bit of my commentary now, because now that I've done this study over 100 days and looked at different resources and stuff, I see that black folks we give our power to the white power structure, and the white entitlement and privilege establishes itself as a kind of gatekeeper on things. And this Brown v. Board of Education is a good example about the desegregation. It's like, okay, the black school's not good enough, so instead of improving the black space, we want to integrate with the white space. And so we've got to, and there's National Guards. If we remember a little bit of that history, and it took a lot of energy to get the little black girl to participate in the white school and all this stuff. And those moments in history where black folks give over their exclusivity and stuff. I mean, I wonder what this nation would look like if black folks would just be the nation within the nation. I mean, that's what it really is. But we keep begging white society to let us in when, I mean, to a degree that they are holding some of that control, power, and structure. We don't really need them to allow us. We need them to just get the hell out of the way so we can be here in this nation. But they've got ownership over land. They're their own politics. They own America, right? So we're always coming with our hat in hand, begging for the um, begging for the right to participate. And we've got to go to courts and we've got to march and all that stuff. All right, the busing was failure. You need to check out Dr. Anderson's videos. Dr. Anderson himself was part of a bus company that was doing well and growing and all that. It was a black bus line. But when this bus, the boycotts and all that came on, the black folks again said, no, we want to ride the white buses. Those black folks are just so enamored, and we gravitate towards whiteness as the solution. And, I'm guilty of it too. There seems to be some peace. There's seems to be some chaos. The way white people murder each other isn't so uh, chaotic as the way black folks murder each other. There's a difference. What white folks in good neighborhoods don't have drive-by shootings. Black folks do. But white folks, when they murder, it's murder in the home and stuff. Both sides do a little bit of everything. But I'm sorry to be. I'm making light of it and joking. It's very serious, but there's a difference in the white community versus the black community, and many gravitate towards it. Ask our game show hosts, ask our talk show hosts, ask our athletes where they live, right? Where are they at? Hmm? Okay, so but the point is this gatekeeper idea. Now that's my stuff, but I believe it's implied here in Dr. Anderson's writing. So we always win all these little battles, but the battles we don't get souvenirs. Um, we get little I can say we don't get tangible assets. We don't come away with nothing. We get symbols, of inclusion. You've got to have laws on the books. I don't know. Maybe thank you for the law to keep me safe and appear as though I'm included, but you owe me some money. You owe me some unpaid wages. Maybe not me personally, but definitely my family. My family, father's side, is descended from slaves. You owe some back wages, and it's the bill collectors today now they're good at charging interest. What's the interest on the unpaid wages of forced labor of my family? Okay, let's get real. You want to talk stuff? Let's talk about it. Okay. Um, so it's this white gatekeeper mentality that black folks seem to gravitate towards, be fooled by, and that's very disturbing. If black folks are ever going to rise up, be taken seriously, break through the ceiling that the black community seems to be under and remain under Asians, whites, Hispanics, and Arabs. All the groups are above. the American black individual. I'm just talking whole generalities here. So this is that, and that's the reason for exclusivity, because when we, well, not it's not even we are reaching out now. Tomorrow maybe we'll talk more about how some of our black national communities' uh, desire for inclusion has diluted the message, but more than that, these other groups use civil rights language. They use historical evidence. You know, they one of the ways I illustrate it is to say they have, you know, almost like hermit crabs. You know, the hermit crab wears the shell of a seashell, you know, or a chameleon. You know, they do just enough to present as aggrieved, and they are. You know, they have been. The LGBTQ community definitely has its martyrs. Um, they have had to, live in secret in the military and through history. You know, they couldn't be out. You know, but black folks, we forged the way. We paved the way. Um, we suffered. You know, we're always out. We're never in. We're never concealed, right? So, but when we either the nonviolence thing after Gandhi and King, Jesus, some of those huge personalities in history, led their nonviolent ways. Then some change started to happen. But I'll give you another illustration. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I'm not going to tell you how. If you get with me, I'll tell you how. But I had a method of quitting, and it was over time, right? It was over about 2 months of this super process that I developed. You know, it's exclusive. I should sell it, but I had a good friend of mine. He smoked, and he was like, "Man, how did you do that?" This was after withdrawals and stuff. No, after I was on the road of non-smoking, and he said, "How'd you do it?" And I gave him my solution. Don't you know, this dude took my idea and quit in one day and never touched a cigarette. From what I told him, that took me 2 months. He did it in one day. And, so the black argument for exclusivity, it's been over time. We're talking hundreds of years here in America, from uh, actual slavery, politics, and then civil rights and all this stuff. These other groups come in and in very short amounts of time go on into glory and stuff. But they don't understand they're still leaving the black issue unresolved. It's still a serious issue here in America. Let me read you just something, a few lines from Dr. Anderson's book. Time is starting to get ahead of us here. Others, social groups, people, successfully destroyed the legitimate base of the black movement by diluting it beyond recognition. The conservative political structure in America, Dr. Anderson says, loved making all these bridges and associations with the plight of black folks with these other aggrieved groups. He says they identified every group that could possibly perceive itself as aggrieved and made it equal to blacks. Thus, the public perception of blacks was severely damaged and distorted. The unique problems blacks faced were made to appear no more important than the problems faced by other so-called victims of discrimination. Right? It's a dilution. It's, you know, and all these groups, they got stuff that they can bring to the table. They can show you what they got. You know, black folks, we just get laws, legislations, symbols. But what's the black person bringing there to the table? You know, let me get back to my burn illustration. You see, it's got that burn. That's a third-degree burn. Burn, that softball-size wound into my side. Right. The burn wasn't a sunburn. You know, you go outside. The weather's actually breaking now, right? And people are spending more time outdoors. You know, so we get sunblock. Or we got plenty of sunburn medication out there. You know, everybody's getting. Even black folks can get sunburned. I've been sunburned, right? But a vast minority uh, gets third-degree burns, you know, in their lifetime, you know, and definitely not all the time, every day, you know. But what would happen if I went to the hospital with this third-degree burn, but the hospital's filled and loaded and gorged with all these sunburned people, you know, little burns on their finger and stuff, you know. That's some of the issue with exclusivity for the black people and their argument and their desire to have access to wealth and resources in America. You know, we are severely abused over hundreds of years, and hourly, and even today, you know, it's not as though black people are moving so freely around the American economic landscape or the moral landscape to any degree. You've heard me say this plenty of times. I need to read you my poem I wrote about the train. Man, white white women really give it to me sometimes. Other women of other races and whatnot really jam me up sometimes with their, oh boy, their walls are up and their looks and their tactics and stuff. And I try not to be paranoid and stuff, but boy, they really put me through it. Yeah. So, you know, you black dudes know what I'm talking about. You know, when you're out in public and stuff, it's like, man, they really jam me up. You know, I don't. You know. So, well, that's what I'm talking about. So, you know, LGBTQ, people don't even care. People don't care about that. You know, they don't jam people up about that. They don't look at people funny and hide their children and stuff. But when black folks are around, there's an issue. There's trepidation. There's obvious, overt social attention that happens when the skin is black, right? those are just some of the things, some of the tidbits. I want you to get Dr. Anderson's book, A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask, and look at that question 100. Already, go to the website, powernomics.com, watch his videos and all that to understand the need for exclusivity in our argument. In Black life, Black communal life, stop. The Black community needs to stop showing up, knocking on the white door, wanting to be let in. That's a sure sign that we don't understand our potential, our own power, our ability. The forces without and the forces within. All right, now that's part one. Part two, we're going to dissect a little bit about the Black civil rights movement proper, some groups as well, and NAACP, and we're going to talk about some of our Black leaders of the past, how they fared, and how that fits in to this argument about Black exclusivity as far as reaching up and reaching out and becoming a recognized force here in America. Come see me tomorrow. I'm Tomlin's Nyback. That's day 123 out of the way. 365 days towards racial change. Let's keep the momentum going. See you tomorrow.